After an episode where we find out that our MC is tall, handsome, but everyone is scared of his aura, we find ourselves with someone that sees what's underneath all of that prejudice and who is completely direct with him, which is what this episode is looking to tackle from Rintaro's own prejudice, from the story's overall theme, from a romantic class divide. But before we start explaining anything further, everything starts off with mommy cakes. A couple of disgusting imbeciles tried to pluck our gluttonous waifu's purity, but that is when future boyfriend arrives that fends off these two maggots once again with just his aura. We have a girl that's been eyeing this boy and this boy that's been eyeing her stomach. What's going to happen when they realize a plot gets in their way? For this video, we will be covering the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity Episode 2, Chidori and Kikyo. Please check out my previous video about Episode 1 and check out my main channel where I talk about Dan and Fragrant. And so, let's hop into those mommy cakes. Doki Doki. The homie, Usami Shohei, starts complaining to Rintaro that these girls are the gift that keeps giving. And what they are giving are very mean side eyes. Natsusawa Saku and Yorita Ayato pop out of nowhere to complete the gang of four and make fun of Shohei for the fact that Chidori was the only school that would have taken him in. Apparently Saku right here is the more popular one around these parts, but even he is like, these rich Kikyo girls and us baka baka, we don't mix at all. The story continues to push this plot that these girls and us guys like Rintaro don't co-mingle, but we all know they do because Rintaro is completely flustered right now. Ayato points out that it is so odd that Rintaro closed the curtains, and it's odd that he has such a bad wound on his head. And after Shohei continues to point out that the Kikyo building doesn't exactly lift your mood, it's not what it looks like, except it's exactly what it looks like. There is nothing but a girl on your mind, and these hapless homies are unaware of the joys of being into a rich girl. Bro is so self-conscious, you would think such a badass stud and ultimate aura wouldn't be overthinking such things about a petite little gluttonous girl. But here we are, thinking once again that he's scared off Wagari Kaoru. Once again, he falls back into the belief, like Saku, that guys like him from a crappy school don't belong with rich elitist girls like Kaoru. Looks like mommy cakes don't need any mother-son bonding time today, so that means it's a day out with the homies. And what they find outside was just absolute horror. It's a rich Kikyo girl, and she's waiting for a certain blonde-haired hunk outside of their school. And just like what the jaded red-haired homie would do after being side-eyed for his entire tenure at Chidori,
what are you doing here?
yoink! Our stud MC stops the homie, but then the homie starts to vent. Who wouldn't want a girlfriend, man? All the baddies are over there, and he's stuck with no luck. Before it can be confirmed further about the relationship between Rintaro and Kaoru, Suzuka and Ayumi comes to save their friend from these
Cretins.
All Shohei wants is some respect and a baddie. Is that too much to ask? The two meanie friends pull Kaoru back to the school, along with a smack to Usami. As Kaoru is being pulled away, Tsumugi and Waguri lock eyes in shock. As all the homies go out to have some fun, Rintaro couldn't help but ponder over what just happened. Was she waiting for him or another guy? But if she was waiting for him, bro is so happy that our gluttonous petite waifu is into him. Once again, Rintaro falls into the belief that they shouldn't be involved with each other due to their status. Saku points out at the karaoke bar that if something is bothering him, he can tell the boys and they can earnestly talk about it. Goes to show that he has some really good friends, but he says, because this serves as a greater plot point later on. After a fun night with the boys, he heads back home, and you know what you're supposed to say when you arrive home.
Mom, give me your cakes.
But what he really said was,
Tadaima.
but what he didn't quite expect was who was going to say.
I want your mom's cakes too.
Or
Okaeri nasai.
Wagari apologizes for making such a big scene at school, and then Mommy Cakes comes out.
Do you want more cakes, future daughter-in-law?
Her stomach growls and everyone laughs at her because it's fun to tease a waifu's endearing quirkiness. Through the fun and heart-meltingly slice-of-life moment we just witnessed, Rintaro becomes a gentleman once more by offering to eat cake with her. He notices what all men eventually notice about their girl. Food solves anger. Kaoru apologizes once more herself for what happened and what happened to his friend Usami. She tells him that she was there to see him. And so that makes your boy all hot and bothered, flustered with mustard. And he tells her without even thinking,
I am happy you did that.
losing all of his badass aura. He tries to take it back because he's not so self-aware after all. But Kaoru said,
No take backs.
this creates a really awkward situation for the baby stages of a romance. And so, where is Mommy Cakes when you need her? This leads to Rintaro making his first major mistake that he should have noticed from before. He feeds into the stereotype, telling Kaoru that he thought that she wouldn't see him again because Kikyo girls and Chidori guys just don't mix. She clearly doesn't care about classism. What are you thinking, man? She would have appreciated if you looked beyond your status. Just as you want people to look beyond your bad boy aura, she did the same for you in the previous episode. Upholding your honor, seeing what's beyond the gossip, seeing who the true person is underneath. Why can't you see that? Kaoru gets up distraught and stomach not full. Rintaro realizes that he somehow smoogied up the situation as she leaves cordially. She tries to put a smile on her face, but clearly how she felt about what he said was still left on her face as she left the door. Mommy Cakes comes out just a tad too late to find her son half alive. And so we move to the living room past the explanation of what just happened, and so that leads to Mommy Cakes giving him a pounding. We just went through this girl walking alone at night thing, and now you still making the same mistakes? Mommy Cakes just explained what I just said earlier, and so that makes him hit himself. It's the next day, and Rintaro is the one waiting outside Kaoru's school, and it's so conveniently just those two. He apologizes for what he said last night and how that made her feel, as it made her put on this sad looking face, which makes her kneel over. She's embarrassed for how she looked and acted and tells Rintaro just how kind he actually is. So Rintaro appreciates the value of her directness and chooses to reciprocate it back. You know,
My homies.
be talking smack about you girls and vice versa. But it's not like I want that to be the case. And it hurt me the most to hear that you would be caught up in that hate speech, because we all know that she's a complete sweetheart. However, it's because of this hate between the schools that made Rintaro want Kaoru to not get involved with him because of the backlash. But now he realizes that shouldn't be the case. He apologizes for being so dense and for thinking about the differences in their schools and not actually about the person and her feelings, as he makes that losing all aura face once again. With these wise words, it totally makes a girl stand tall again and possibly hungry. It's not about the schools or the class divide. It's about you, Smoogie Rintaro.
And it's about
Those mommy cakes. As school proceeds, it looks like they have each other's denwa bongos to further get past any miscommunication like the curtain incident. And so once again, they get a do-over. Well, that was another really nice episode that already built upon a deeper bond than it was before. That almost very traumatizing event with the other two guys. It looks like this high school difference is going to be the bigger plot here, but the theme here is really in your face about it being about people's perception of each other and that class divide. But I love that the relationship in itself in the very first 2 episodes is already building upon a very firm bond between Rintaro and Kaoru. And it's because of that relationship that we can hold onto as an audience to help facilitate what the rest of the plot is going to happen around the other characters and how they feel and how they deal with this difference between the schools. And obviously at the end of the day, these class differences, that shouldn't be what matters. It should be about the person. But also in reality though, sometimes that is the case. So yeah guys, let me know what you guys think about episode 2 of the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. Do me a favor, hit the like button if you're enjoying this ship between Kaoru and Rintaro. And subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog at otakusen.com. Check out my main channel where I talk about and Fragrant. And I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.